So I'm Alyssa. I'm married with 3 kids. We have a 29-year age gap.
Dating as a single mom. What are some of the standards?
I want to be spoiled a ton. If they're offended by that, they don't really like you. Mm-hmm. They think that you were an easy lay. Mm-hmm. And then when you present an obstacle or a requirement, they're like, this isn't completely easy. They were in their early 40s. And I was like, absolutely, I can't do this.
Age gap relationships. These men they're older than us. They're going to get old. Have you ever thought about the conversation when your husband's penis stops working?
Does it stop?
Welcome back, you guys, to the OnlyMoms podcast. My name is Macie, your hostess with the mostest, and I have Alyssa on the show today. Ooh. Okay, I want to tell you, I was never I've just been like heads down entrepreneur for so long, and so when I came up and I was like, fuck it, let me fuck with TikTok for a second, and I had a few videos do their thing. You were one of the first people that I followed.
Oh my gosh.
In my respective category of like, okay, I want to see what the other girlies are doing. And so, I was just telling our producer, I'm like, I'm so excited because even when I talk to you on the phone, I'm so used to hearing your voice.
Oh,
I'm like,
so funny.
I just feel like I know you. And I don't follow a lot of influencers until like the moment in my life where I was like, well, how are they maintaining this? How are, they doing all of that? And so you were literally my first influencer follow.
I'm so honored.
I know. So cheers. Welcome to the show. I want you to first catch everyone up. I feel like this is going to be a lot of girl talk.
Okay, which one do I look at?
You can just look at me like we're having a conversation. If you want to do some like deep like action with the camera.
To introduce myself.
Yeah. Where do you want her to look to introduce? You can go here.
All right, so I'm Alyssa. I'm married with 3 kids. We have a 29-year age gap. Our youngest is 2. Middle is 11. She's from a previous relationship. And our oldest is 17 from his previous relationship. But that's our house full time.
Okay. So you have all the kids full time?
All of them, yeah.
Yeah. We have all of our kids full time as well.
Yeah. Yours are bigger, right? They're older than 17?
So we have a 22-year-old, and then we have 2 seniors in high school.
Okay.
They're twins. And then we have the new baby to make 4.
Yeah, so that's the same. I mean, Mel's a senior. She'll be 18 April.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
April. That is our new baby's birthday is April.
Oh.
I know. Look at all this energy.
Aries babies.
Yes. So it's interesting because I feel like both of our audiences are so obsessed with with age gap relationships in general. I feel like it's intriguing to people. And no matter how long you've been in your relationship, people really have questions. Like they're so curious about the dynamic or all of it, really. Do you find that?
Oh, of course. I mean, I think, how I built my platform in the beginning was doing a lot of like satire stuff related to the age gap and kind of playing off of the stereotypes or ideas that people would have on my relationship as like a joke. I realized over the summer that like not everyone knew I was joking.
No, they have no idea we're joking. They have no idea.
And then, later I'd realize like, wow, people are kind of dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm not really planning to kill my husband and take his estate from his older children. That was a joke. Like,
yeah. No.
You would think, But I would kind of toy with these really crazy judgments that I would get from people, and I would build off of that. And more recently I've been trying to show more of who I really am and who my husband really is, because when you remove the age or even gender, like ultimately people are just these sacks of meat with souls in them, right? And then you find a soul that sparks your soul, and then you kind of just feel safe together.
Yeah.
And when you peel all of the numbers and colors and all of that aside, that's really what we are. We're people finding each other and I think it doesn't make sense at first
Right.
to a lot of people because when you're dating someone who's in the same age range and in a similar place in life, you're looking for someone who kind of mirrors you versus I think in my age gap, we really complete each other in these ways. Like I know for sure you bring so much light and humor to your very serious husband's very serious life.
Yeah.
And that's how it is for me too.
He does say that. He's like, you bring the music to the house. Like, no matter what it is it like relaxing music? Is it fun music? Like, you fill the house with music.
That's
and
beautiful.
joy, right? And so I do agree with you. Had you dated older men before your husband?
He's the second age gap relationship I was in. I was always attracted to older men.
Okay.
Like my mom and I, we would like babe hunt. We'd get coffee. I was
Y'all
like
are
16.
competing for the same men?
No,
Like,
I mean
Mom, no.
my mom's young too though.
Okay.
She had me at 21. So like technically yes. I mean my husband is I think 8 years older than her.
Oh, yeah. My husband is... So, no, wait. My favorite comment on social media is when they comment and it's like, he looks like her dad. Or he's as old as her dad. Like, no, baby, he's older. Right? Like, come on. Get it right. Like, be a little more original.
Yeah. I mean, when people say that he looks like he could be my dad, I'm like, but I'm brown.
Yeah, right. Like, he actually can. Right? No.
It doesn't make sense.
Right, yeah.
The math isn't math.
I know. Oh, my gosh. Okay, so you've always been attracted to older guys. I think my situation is interesting because I just feel like if you're sexy, you're sexy. I never even imagined like, oh my God, he's an older guy. But my husband is the first older guy that I've dated.
How long have you guys been together?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because we're so good at so many things and we do not keep track of like our anniversary or any of that. So I think that we've been together for 6 or 7 years now.
Same.
Really?
Yeah, it'll be 7 in May.
Okay. I love that. And how old is your son?
2.5.
Okay.
He'll be 3 in May.
Okay. Our daughter will be 2 in April.
Oh, they're right there.
I know. I love it. What were some of the things... I mean, you had dated one older man before, but it's not like you were a seasoned vet. Were there any, like, insecurities that came up
I mean,
in this?
I turned 24, like, a week after he and I started talking, or 2 weeks after. So I don't think I had time to date any more than I did. But I had a daughter already from a previous relationship, and there are just things that other 24, 25, even 30-year-old guys just couldn't relate with me on. Yeah, like I genuinely felt like I was babysitting.
Yeah.
And I think as a woman, we mature quicker than men. Like that's a fact.
Yeah.
But when you also have more responsibilities in your life, you're really at a place where things are more serious. It's just really hard. And when I first got to Miami, I went on a few dates before Mark, and they were in their early 40s. And I was like, absolutely, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I can't. It feels like college boy type of vibe.
Yeah. That's good that you found out early, though.
Yeah.
You don't want to be around, like, some people just settle.
Yeah. I mean, I was also just looking for a good time. I wasn't trying to find my husband by any means when I met him. But I had these standards for what I wanted for myself. I'm like, okay, if I'm having casual fun, I'm still taking time away from my home and my daughter. And that has a lot of value, right? So what are they bringing to the table?
Right, right.
I knew what I wanted, and I mean, even the younger one, there were some that were like, yeah, I'll do a weekly allowance, like, yeah, I'll pay your bills, the early 40s, but I also want to feel like I'm learning from someone.
And learning is a huge thing for me.
Well, I feel like when you start dating, as a woman, I think if you're looking for love you have this like empty pair of shoes and you're trying to fit everyone into it, like the glass slipper, right? And men, they're just looking for sex. So they're going to say and do whatever, behave whatever type of way they think will get them sex. So they know generally that women have this idea in their head, right?
Yeah.
They'll tell you what you want to hear and what they think you want to hear. Just to get sex out of you. So me, I just wanted the sex.
Right.
And the love came very naturally after, because I was like, I want good chemistry. Obviously, I want to be attracted to the person I'm hooking up with. And I want to be spoiled a ton.
Yeah.
So when a guy is having a great time with you, they're spending a ton of money on you, you're the source of their like excitement and fun. They fall, and then you fall. That's the trick. You
can't fall first.
No.
So you opened so many doors of topics that I want to jump into, but I think let's back up for a second before we get too far away from it. In these early stages of dating, you have a lot of people, like, your comments go crazy when you talk about he should pay for a babysitter if he say so. Like, dating as a single mom, what are some of the standards?
Oh, it was so fun because I call the babysitter thing like the best acid test.
Oh, yes.
Right? Because if you say to a guy like, hey, yeah, I'm down to go out with you, but you just have to cover the sitter. If they're offended by that, they don't really like you. They think that you were an easy lay. And then when you present an obstacle or a requirement, they're like, this isn't completely easy. This isn't free cooter. Like, what's the deal? And then they get mad.
Challenges already.
Yeah. But a guy who, first of all, $45 shouldn't break the bank.
I was just going to say also, too, that's such a, one, realistic request, but also, two, it's not like you're like, you need to buy me a pair of Louis the first time we go on a date. Like, no, like, max $100 for a sitter that night.
Yeah, and that's if you're out for like 4 hours.
Yeah, you know.
So when their response would tell me a lot about them, and I wish there was a similar test I had for single girls who aren't moms, because I feel like that was a great way to vet people out just right off the bat. When I was saying like, oh, I dated guys in their early 40s, one guy, I mentioned it, oh, of course, no problem. We were texting, and I said I was getting my nails done, and we happened to be in the same neighborhood. And he was like, oh, I hope this isn't, he was like, he knew what area I worked in like, as a nanny. And he was like, I hope this isn't weird. My son plays baseball in that area. I'm here right now. Are you at the nail salon? I was like, yeah. And he goes, can I say hi? I know you're with your daughter. I'll be respectful. I'm like, okay, fine. So he says hi, is very polite. He pays for me and my daughter's manicures as he leaves. Didn't mention it. When I went to pay for my nails, that was done. And he was just like, you know, I love your nails. See you Friday. But I don't think people realize how attractive it is to be a mom, right? It's so attractive to men, like decent men. The guys who are turned off by that are usually just shitty humans. Yeah. Right? But when a man, like, they're programmed to see a woman who's nurturing and loving and be like, baby.
Right. There's so much animal instinct still involved in the way that we operate, and people don't like take it back to the primal very often.
So when you have that very, very grandiose feminine display of nurturing, and there's a difference, right? When you're a single mom and you're out clubbing every weekend, and I don't care if I make you feel bad. Like, if someone feels bad hearing that, then you probably should feel bad. You should lay off the clubs a little bit. But there's a difference when you're that kind of single mom versus a single mom who's all about her kids and herself. And that's so admirable and so attractive.
Yeah. No, I agree. Did you have any insecurities dating as a single mom?
No.
No, you're not an insecure girly. I feel like that would be, I know I've been divorced before, and so having to say out loud, like, and I got divorced and married and divorced so young that maybe that's what it was, is that no one else that was 22 was saying they had already been divorced.
That's crazy.
I know. And so maybe it was more of an age thing than it was actually like, now I don't give a fuck. Like, yeah, this is like, we both had a test marriage and now we're in the real marriage. But do you get women asking you like for strength advice? Is dating as a single mom?
So I'm actually going to drop a course on this very soon.
Okay.
So how to date like a trophy wife, right? Because that is my number one question, number one comment. And of course, a lot of it comes from my content, and that's where I started my content shift. That's why I changed your favorite trophy wife, right? And I'm just going to pivot more towards me, because I realized I was selling a fantasy to women by showing my actual life and celebrating my life. And though I've gotten so many DMs of people telling me that they've done better for themselves and have been inspired from that, until my course is out, I pulled all of that back, because I feel almost like it's a lie if I don't give people a answer as well. Because what they'll do is they'll gloss over everything, right? And they'll be like, where do I meet him? You were in Miami. I'm going to try to move to Miami. Don't move to Miami if you're trying to find a guy. Also, don't try to find a guy. That's part of the problem. And, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It went to like a little
No,
tangent.
that's okay.
But I do want to help people. I want to inspire people. But I don't want people to be inspired by me and make stupid decisions trying to get the same result. Because like you said, like, the confidence thing. When you're looking for a guy to fulfill your life, you're desperate. Yeah.
And you have to fix your insides first. You like that wine. You like that. We have to get her more wine. But you have to fix your insides first before you can go out confidently and find the man that is supposed to
attract the man. Yeah, and
attract the man.
Because there is no finding, right? And that's why my first breakup after having my daughter, the first time I was back in the dating scene, I had gone on a single date with a guy who was around my age. And in my head, I was like, okay, I don't want any type of relationship. He lives in my neighborhood. He's not a total stranger because we went to elementary school together. I saw on Facebook that he moved to my neighborhood. Anyway, so I was like, perfect. Let me just slide in his DMs. Okay. And I don't know if it's TMI, but I feel like it's not. So
no, nothing's TMI here. It's a safe space.
So basically, we were about to hook up, and then I was like, well, and he was like, oh, I don't do that. Like, go down.
What?
Yeah, he was like, I don't go down. And I was just like, oh, my phone is ringing. I've got to go. So I just abruptly left. And as I was getting in the elevator, I was like, block on every platform.
Yes.
And in my head, I was like, fuck that. There are men out there who would pay to go down on me.
Literally drink my motherfucking bathwater, and you have the audacity.
But that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for an older man. And here's the thing, too, is like this period of time between that ex, not the random attempt at going back into the dating scene, but my actual ex, like my daughter's father. And that time I was like, okay, let me put my feet in the water because I just need some D. That's really what I needed at that time. It was like maybe 9 months of celibacy at that point, and I was losing my mind. I had gotten in the best shape of my life.
And girl, no better time to pop that.
No, but here's the thing. I felt so good about myself, and I had poured into myself so much. I was at the gym 5 times a week, plus I was a nanny, and my job was very physical. I was in New York City, so I'm pulling a wagon with kids and toys around. I was in phenomenal shape. So that was that last time I was single, and then I met my ex, who was also 29 years older than me.
Okay.
So I was about 21 years old, and I had met this guy, and he got me a gorgeous 2-bedroom apartment in Astoria. It was, looking back at the apartment, I'm like, I don't think I realized how
good I had it.
Really. He was paying for my laundry to be sent out every week. All water, electricity, everything, cable, everything was paid for. So my money from work was just pocket and saving money. And he got me Invisalign. My teeth were busted, so got my teeth fixed. Got me a boob job. I just had, postpartum, like after you breastfeed, the little deflated boobies, and I wasn't happy with that, so he got me a boob job, right? And then so that relationship, I leveled up in all these ways, and I traveled for the first time in my life, and then I was single again, right? I'm single, so I'm 23 years old. I go to Miami, one-way ticket for me and my daughter. We slept in this girl's living room who I knew from Facebook when I was 14. Like, we had been Facebook friends for years, so I knew she wasn't going to kidnap us.
Right, thank God.
I hoped.
Okay.
But,
right. And nothing happened. We're fine. We're fine.
But then I'm like, okay, so look at me now. I'm single again. I'm 23, about to be 24 years old. I'm in Miami. I have new teeth, new boobs. Let's fucking go.
Oh, yeah. It's go time.
Yeah, and I just felt really, really good about myself. So that's really the biggest thing is, like, when you're single, it's not time to be like, oh my God, I gotta find a man.
Right.
Like, no, it's time to really become that version of yourself that you want to fucking date. Like, be the girl that you would want to spoil if you were a man.
Oh, absolutely. I want to talk about allowances. How do you ask for an allowance?
I want a weekly allowance.
Do you? I think a lot of women get scared because they think they're in a negotiation.
Oh, well, I mean, for me, I just want to know that I'm being valued and you're not my boyfriend. So if I'm not being taken seriously as, like, a potential future wife, right, I want to know that you value me.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would say when I was single, like, oh, it just keeps things easy, right?
Yeah.
So the allowance went away when things got serious with me and my husband.
Right.
Because he's like, I really like you. I feel like this is transactional, or, like, you know, and well, of course he was still taking care of me in a lot of ways, but it does set a foundation of how you expect to be treated.
I agree.
And for me, I said, you know, I want to create more security and stability for me and my daughter. So this, like, you know, $1,000 a week, it's helping me and my daughter to have a savings account and all of these, like, basic necessities. So a guy who also is doing really well financially is fucking you and has any type of respect for you and your circumstances isn't gonna be mad at that.
Yeah, and I think that you have to be reasonable, right? Like, you have already, like, done your due diligence on this man, and you might not know his exact salary, but, like, don't be like, can I have $20,000 a week, right? Like, you have to be reasonable, but you shouldn't be scared to have that conversation.
Yeah, worst thing they could say is no, and then you just find someone who is fine to say yes.
Right.
And also for me, like, when I was dating and the allowance thing, I really was like, okay, well, what do you feel comfortable with? There's a couple people that I like, that I'm attracted to, and I'm more interested not in the highest amount I could get a week, but who I have the most chemistry with. And, like, the allowance thing for me is just a little bit of a net of, like, I'm not wasting my time entirely. Like, I walk away with something outside of great conversation and good sex. Like,
yeah. What's your biggest, your number one dating advice for age gap relationships?
Oh, I mean, for, like, women dating older guys, oh my God, wait till you're 25. Please wait till your brain develops. Because I think what happens, and also it is best to be the older guy's first younger woman.
Ooh.
That's, like, a really big one, because sometimes what happens is a guy has this experience with this younger chick, whatever happens, it doesn't work out, and they're trying to project this fantasy of their past onto the next one. They're trying to look for a replacement. Yeah. So it's better, like, to be the one who's pursuing the older man, I think. And Mark was kind of against it, and I like that.
Yeah. Don't work with me, work against me, baby.
Yeah. He was
That
just like,
is
oh,
hilarious.
you're too young. And I'm like, but or am I?
Yeah, right. Are you sure?
No, but,
oh my God, that's funny.
I think those two things are really important, because if you're under 25, you have a weaker sense of self. Your brain's not fully developed. You can be manipulated much more easily. And I lucked out with Mark because he really is a good person.
Right, I lucked out as well. So sometimes I do feel bad actually giving this advice on the internet, because I'm like, I have to say, like, this is totally general, and, like, every person is so different. Not everyone has the same intentions as my, like, saint of a husband, you know?
Yeah. But that's also why I tell people not to look for a husband, right? Like, where do I find a rich husband? Like,
welcome to season 2 of OnlyMoms. And you know I can't kick things off without a little treat from my favorites. So, if you're new around here, let me fill you in. 4 years ago, with my amazing business partner, Kristen Taylor, I co-founded Mom Juice. We're all about keeping the bullshit out of wine, literally. We're gluten-free and vegetarian. We also practice ingredient transparency by putting all of our ingredients on the back of the bottle. I know you might be giggling, but not all wine is vegetarian, okay? So you might just be drinking fish bladder, but that's none of my business. Here's the fun part. As your OnlyMom sponsor, I'm here to hook you up with 20% off your next order. Just head over to momjuicewine.com and use promo code OnlyMoms to go and treat yourself. You deserve it.
Because also, guess what? Or my favorite, does he have a friend? Yeah,
oh
because
my God.
Every single guy my husband knows is exactly like him. Like, really, think about it. I'm sure if you pull up 4 of your husband's friends, you would not want to date any of them.
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
And that's really like the joke of it all.
Mm-hmm.
The age isn't going to create a certain result. The money isn't going to create a certain result, right? You have to have set expectations that are realistic and specific to you.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Cheers. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. How was it meeting his children? How was it blending the family?
It was very chill because she had just turned 12, youngest, and then the older ones were on their own. They were and they live in different states, you know.
Yeah.
So she just thought of me as like a cool older sister babysitter type thing. Okay. And I think that the age gap worked in my favor because it's not like I'm your new mom. Like,
yeah.
I was what I was, and even now I am what I am. Like, she said to me the other day, she thinks of me as like a cool roommate. And I was like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she can come to me with any problem she has.
And that's safety.
Exactly.
For her.
Like, I've told her since she was maybe 14, if you're ever in a situation that you're not supposed to be in, you can tell me and you won't get in trouble.
Yeah, and you need to call me.
Yeah, like a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
So it's the it's what I would have wanted for myself as a teenager.
Yeah.
You know, like first time she was invited to smoke weed, she didn't do it, but she asked me about it. She said, my friend asked me, like, I don't know what to say. And I was like, well, look, if you're really like set, okay, I'm going to try it, I'd much rather you do it in the house. No, but really, like, you might be putting yourself in a situation where you're with other kids who don't know how to react. You have a
and
history
there's a lot of
anxiety.
stuff that's laced now.
Oh,
and
God,
so
yeah.
you just, like, that's
I'd
my
much
thing
rather
too.
you smoke from my stash.
Right. I've got a little something for you. I left it under your pillow. Right? And so, like, no, but I mean, I just do feel the same way about drugs. Like, I'm so terrified of everything being laced that it's like, you need to know the source.
Yeah.
And if you must try that in your lifetime, like, we need to have a deeper conversation.
Yeah, let's go to a dispensary.
Right? Like,
no, but exactly. It's really like, okay, safety first. Like, okay, if you are interested in being physical with your boyfriend, tell me, we'll get you birth control.
Yes.
Like, there's, you know, so thankfully, from stage 1 all the way to where we are now, Mel and I have a great relationship. Like, we have a lot of trust. We're open. We have fun together. The older kids they're both amazing human beings. Like, they're just super smart, very cool. And, of course, at first there was like this idea of me, we'll call it, that was bestowed upon them from Mark's ex-wife, someone who's literally never hung out with me for more than an hour or more, right? So they had opinions of me that were created by a person who literally didn't even know me either. And I think as time went on, I never fed into the drama, which also key, if you're dating an older man or you're dating someone with an ex-wife, do not feed into the drama.
I agree.
what they want to do is they want to become a topic between you and your man.
Oh, they want to rile your ass up.
Yeah, they want to become like the third person in the relationship. So anytime there was any silliness, drama, whatever, I'd always be like, oh, ha, ha, whatever. I would just brush it off, and I just never allowed it. Like, it was always one-sided beef. But, you know, if you're an honest person, if you have good intentions, just be who you are, everything will come to surface in the end. It might take 4 years, might take 10, but eventually, like, everyone's true colors comes to light.
Yeah.
But good relationship with all of them.
It's crazy because I get asked all the time about, you know, step parenting advice, and you know, they're like, well, how did the kids take to you? And I like, it's the most basic bit of advice, but kids can see through the bullshit, right? And it's like, you need to just be yourself, and you need to be a good person, not try to replace their already existing mom, even if y'all have completely different opinions, and just be consistent with that. You know, like, they will see it, as you said.
100%.
So, no, I agree with that. How was it for Mark to meet your daughter?
Oh, it was, you know, it's funny. So another thing with dating is, very important. Do not introduce a bunch of random men to your kids.
Oh, thank you.
So when I first met Mark, I told him, like, oh, yeah, you don't have to worry about my daughter. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you're never going to meet her. So, of course, men being men, it was his goal in life to meet her.
Right. He's like, no, she is my princess.
Like, no,
I'm ready.
I will meet her. Right. So, so he worked really hard for that, and he was amazing with her. He took her fishing their first time hanging out, and that's still their thing. 7 years later, they go fishing. That's pretty much it. I did wait, though, until I was like, okay, I'm meeting his daughter. I see myself getting engaged.
Yeah.
But also, I was young and stupid. In retrospect, I would wait until I'm engaged.
Wow.
To introduce a man to my daughter.
Okay.
Because they don't need to know who you're sleeping with.
Right. They don't.
It's not their business.
So how long did you wait?
At that point, I think it was almost 7-8 months.
7, 8. Okay,
yeah,
we
but
waited
again, I was
6.
24.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so in love. I see us getting married. But, like...
It all worked out. I
did.
do think that it is, right? Like, and to your point earlier, if anyone gets offended by this, like, maybe you should be rethinking it. But some people are doing so many introductions to their children. And I grew up with a mom that had me at 18. And I am not blaming her. And I love my mom. We are so close. But I was introduced to quite a few men. And not in, like, she was like a serial dater, not like one night stand type dating. But it was more men than I would introduce to my daughter. And so seeing that, like, I think I almost lost the respect for her relationships. You don't know who to take seriously, you know? And so even just beyond, like, the safety of, like, do you know this man well enough to know your daughter and be in the same room as her?
Well, that's the thing. Sorry, the only people who are capable of hurting your children are the ones that you trust. Like, in the dating phases, like, with my ex, I know this might sound crazy to a lot of people, but I had a lock on her room that was a code of her bedroom door, because I'm a heavy sleeper, and, like, he, you know, would come over, visit, stay the night.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like, you never know. And that paranoia definitely came from my mom, and I love her for that. She was 21 when she had me, but she never had a single boyfriend around us because she was so afraid of something happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So she definitely put that on me. So I was very paranoid, but thankfully so. Like, I'm happy for that.
I noticed you changed and, like, really started your rebrand, and you connected it to what the amazing things that we've now learned that you're dropping with your courses. But the trophy wife on TikTok that we all experienced, like, her giving all of this advice, and then the story of devastation of what's happening with her children possibly being, you know.
Oh, her. Oh, my
God.
So I feel like that. I always say things come in threes, right? And that was, like, the third thing for me that I was like, let me change my username. And also, I think all, like, trophy wife content it's kind of cringy.
Yeah.
And like for me, when I was like your favorite trophy wife, I had it, and it was kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Like, I'm playful. I'm very different than most of the. You have to be very feminine to get a provider man. Like that's not my vibe, you know. And
your brand is allowed to evolve.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, I think with that happening, it definitely was, because then I've never seen or heard of this woman in my life.
So I hadn't either. And it's just because we're associated with some of the same hashtags that I started, and then it started, of course, I dove in. And I was like, what is happening? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then when I looked at the existing content, and then I looked at other people, like I looked up the hashtag like trophy wife, and then I kind of like went down that wormhole. I was like, this isn't even my vibe.
Yeah.
Like I never intended that to be. But I mean, that's why I was like your favorite trophy wife. Like I'm different.
Right.
But I was like, oh, honestly, like.
Okay. I just had to ask. I didn't know if there was any association with you deciding to change your name.
That was the third thing.
The
other thing, I worked with this astrologer, and she's actually incredible. And I was asking about business and social media strategy, because around the end of the summer, I was like, I should take this seriously, because I started TikTok when I was pregnant with Keanu and stopped working. So I was bored and had nothing to do. And then I would just bullshit post here and there, and the past like 2 years random videos would blow up and I would just get followers. But until like the summer, I was like, I should take this seriously.
Right.
That was the first time ever. So then I consulted an astrologer on strategy and all of that, and something that she mentioned was a rebrand. And like, okay, stop showing, trophy wife, this, whatever, like show us you. And I was so afraid to not be your favorite trophy wife, because I was like, who's going to care about Alyssa? Like I genuinely felt that.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. And then I had another thing, and then that was the third thing where I was like, okay, you know what, screw this. Like,
yeah. It's weird how like we'll question ourselves in like what we should even be sharing. And I know that has so much to do with like there is strategy behind it. But never in a million years watching your content was I not like, I don't want to know Alyssa. I was like, I need to know Alyssa, right?
Well, I'm actually realizing that, like, I think a lot of people do have imposter syndrome.
Of course.
But I have a little bit of influencer syndrome. Like, see, again, oh my God. Yeah. No, like I don't identify as an influencer.
Neither do I. So I get that.
And I, realizing there is an impact you have on people. It's so incredible, and it's so dangerous in a way, where that's why I was like, okay, let me pull back entirely on showing or selling this fantasy until I have my course ready.
Yeah.
Because I don't want women to chase after my life without any of the tools, and then get themselves in dangerous situation with shitty, manipulative, rich, older men.
Right. No, I agree.
It's a recipe to get used.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it is exciting, though. It is
I'm
exciting.
so excited about it.
Show a little bit more family stuff, more day-to-day. Right now I'm trying to get my 3D organized, so my content's slowed down quite a bit. So I'm working on a clothing line.
Oh my God.
For breastfeeding moms.
Okay.
So you can actually like feel hot and like unlatch while being covered. Where was it when you were breastfeeding? I know.
And we were just there. It wasn't that long ago.
And that's what inspired it.
Yeah.
But, so I'm working on a clothing line. I'm working on getting my license finally.
I saw everyone's telling you to just get a driver, and I don't agree.
So stupid.
I do agree. You should get your license. And you may even do 50-50 and still Uber sometimes, right? But like,
I guess if I'm drinking.
Yeah. I guess after your podcast, bitch, right? But no, like, I think that's exciting. How are you feeling about the driving test?
No, so my best friend Luke, Zaya calls him my zesty bestie.
Okay. That's cute.
But so he was in town last month, and he was like, you know what, no, we're getting you to drive. So he took my husband's car to an empty parking lot, And he was like, okay, just do it.
Right.
And I did it, and I started having fun. I wasn't as scared as I thought I would be.
Where did you grow up? New York?
Yeah, in the city.
Okay, that's why you don't. Now it makes sense. Okay.
And then, actually, the incident that brought me to Miami, the last time I was behind the wheel of a car driving, I had my learner's permit once in New York.
Okay.
So, my ex had hit me.
While you were driving?
So yeah, like I had to like pull over and then like run back to our house, and he got in the car, looped around, my mom came out. It was a whole thing. Anyway, yeah, so I've been afraid of learning how to drive the last 7 years I've been in Miami.
Oh, yeah, damn trauma.
Exactly.
Alyssa.
I was in Brickell too for a long time, and everything is walking distance in Brickell.
Right.
But it wasn't until I played a sleep manifestation audio, because I was I do it every night. My husband and I, we go to sleep listening to a sleep manifestation audio.
Okay.
There's all kinds on YouTube.
Yeah.
Whatever. But this one night specifically, I was like, I am so sick of dragging my feet. I had booked the learner's permit test maybe 5 times, missed every single one. And I was like, why am I bullshitting? I can't study. I shut down trying to study. I shut down trying to go to these appointments. And I was so frustrated with myself, because I was like, why are you being like a lazy bitch? Like, why?
Yeah.
I went to sleep, and that night I had a dream of the incident, and I was like, oh, you're not lazy, you're traumatized.
Yeah, you're traumatized. And it's weird how it still lives inside of you even when you don't think about it, on the regular basis. And it's like, no, every time you attempt to drive, your body relives
you have that block.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's why I'm like, okay, now that I'm aware of the block, I can overcome it. And then that's why my friend in town last month, he was like, nope, this is going to be your last memory behind a car. And then we blasted some of my favorite songs, just looped around for 20 minutes. And the next day I was like, let's do it again. He was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, what kind of car are you going to get? Do you have your eye on something?
Yeah, Mercedes GLS, the GLS. I'm sorry, I don't know cars, but I went car shopping with Luke.
Ooh, see, that's fun.
So I told Mark, I was like, okay, I went last week to do the learner's permit test, and I couldn't do it because I had to take a 4-hour drug and alcohol course. Oh, I had no idea.
And that's a long time to commit randomly.
Yeah, but you could do it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then I went to New York last week, whatever. So tomorrow I'm doing it. And then I told my husband, I was like, okay, Wednesday morning, first thing in the morning, I just want to go as a walk-in when I have it. If I pass, I pass. If I fail, I fail. I'm sure I'll pass. There's a lot of stupid people who drive. So
you've definitely got this.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, Wednesday morning, I'm just going to do it, because Tuesday I'm going to take the course. And then he goes, okay, cool. After you do that, I'll pick you up from the DMV, and then we can get lunch and go to Mercedes.
Yes, Mark. Cheers.
He's so cute for that. So that's our plan.
Listen, ladies, y'all need the course, because we need that straight off the driving test. Yeah, and to Mercedes.
Definitely has daddy energy for sure.
I love that.
Daddy vibes.
Okay, so we're going to have to link your astrologist. We're going to have to link all of the things that you're talking about, and especially when you get your course and your clothes.
The astrologist, though, she works with people who are Christian.
Okay.
Which is, it's funny. It's ironic because, a lot of Christians aren't into, well, not Christian specifically, but she's worried that astrology may lead people away from God. Oh. So she works with God-fearing people. So she does have, like, an interviewing process before she works with people. Okay. But she's fucking incredible.
I mean, look, we'll try. We'll see if we can get through her due diligence.
She's really, really incredible.
Okay, I want to have one last question, and I know we're getting long-winded, and we're a little late, so I'm so sorry. But I have to ask this, just because in age gap relationships, right, is inevitable. These men they're older than us. They're going to get old. Have you? I know, right? Like, as if we're not already dating old-ass men. Have you ever thought about the conversation when your husband's penis stops working?
Does it stop?
So mine hasn't.
Modern medicine.
But, like, right? That's
like, from what I hear, there's, like, many, like, there's guys, what's that guy from the Rolling Stones who just had twins?
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
the one with the black, like, he dyes his hair jet black. It's like,
wow.
dude, I forgot how old, but he was like 70 something.
Okay.
Having twins. No, I think, like, honestly, it stops working when they're, like, almost dead. And at that point, we'll have help. Like,
Right.
We'll hire people, but we're going to outsource.
Can someone get that going? Right. I just wonder, because someone asked me that the other day. They were like, how would you navigate that? And I was like, well, first and foremost, I think I'd have to, like,
We'll cross that bridge when it
yeah, like
comes.
navigate my husband's ego. Like, he's going to be hurt by this.
I mean, but also, like, I think there comes a point where women also, like, I mean, it's there, but, like, it's not there. Like, they're
Right.
not that interested anymore. And this is just something I've heard from older men I've dated. But, like, you know, apparently when women hit a certain point, and then if they're, like, 30 years ahead of us, we should be hitting
on the same page.
Yeah, we'll be crossing that bridge at the same time. We'll be going on cruises together while our
Right.
kids are in college, and they're
Yep.
going to be working.
I just thought I would bring it up because I'm like, I never get this time to have a conversation.
That's
and
what
I was
bingo's for.
I was so surprised when someone asked me that. I was like, well, shit. Oh my God. Okay, tell everyone where they can find you.
Right now. Okay.
Oh, no! Do you not want to?
No, because I was like, fuck, what's my username going to be?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I was thinking of
Okay.
changing to Alyssa.Seremet once, but, you know, I'll do that tonight. I'll do
no,
that
and
tonight.
and don't worry about it.
I'll
We'll
do
air
that
this.
tonight.
I mean, you have like 1 week.
Alyssa.Seremet. Okay, I'll do that.
We're
on both my
we're gonna
platforms.
tag her and we're gonna link her, guys.
Yeah.
We've got a whole rebrand going. Y'all know how it is. Don't act like you don't.
Is it my midlife crisis?
I mean, you are going to get a hot new car.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
very similar. What color are you gonna get?
Oh, white. I want to do
Yeah.
white, but I was thinking of doing like an iridescent wrap on it.
Ooh.
So it's like a pearly white where like when the sun hits it, you get like a little like purple, green, pink sparkle. But like it
Y'all
looks
might
white.
not know where to find her on social media right now, but you will see her in these streets. You will know. You will find her at the stoplight.
You'll
Okay.
see me at the gym.
Right. Alyssa, it was so great to have you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was really a pleasure. And cheers.
Cheers.